Now this made me really sad. Um, After I beat a player on the ladder, I think twice, this was the feedback that I got. Something about a cancer deck, some rude language directed at Blizzard and myself, oh, and at my family too, and apparently, according to that last comment, loads of people are no longer playing this game, they're moving away from it. Well, 70 million players would say otherwise. So yeah, this feedback came from a mech mage player on WoW mode who went up against this this Eggless Druid deck by J4ckiechan. So it's an aggressive token druid, and what's ironic about the feedback is that the Mech Mage player, well, his deck was also very, very aggressive. I mean, Mech Mage 2 years ago, after GVG was released, was, I guess, the equivalent of what we call Pirate Warrior and Egg Druid today. You know, it was very, very aggressive, and within 4 or 5 turns, you were dead if the Mech Mage had a great start on the board. So there's an aggressive opponent having a go at me for playing an aggressive deck. And yet his deck actually also has the potential to be just as aggressive as mine. It's just that his deck didn't have the early start that my deck has, with cards like Enchanted Raven, Firefly, Living Roots, which you then buff up with the likes of Power of the Wild and Mark of the Lotus. So against the Mech Mage, what I was able to do is build a board very quickly. His mechs eventually started coming out, but I was able to get really good value trades against his mechs and still maintain a board and then buff up my board again and win twice in a row, which I think really upset my opponent, hence the rude language and the negative feedback that he gave me. So, this is a deck, as I say, by J4ckiechan, and it relies on that early curve into a buff effect. But notice something. There are no eggs played in this deck, hence I called it Eggless Druid. No eggs. No Nerubian egg. No Dragon egg. No Devilsaur egg. No Runic egg. Okay, those cards are not played. And the idea behind that is that the eggs can be dead cards. If they get played on the board and there's no buff effect, they just sit there, either in your hand or on the board, with nothing to do. And, well, what's the point of that? You know, why? You know, they're useless cards that have no impact on the game. And sometimes that can lose you games. Whereas if you look at the deck, the minions in this deck all have some kind of offensive capacity. So instead of Dragon Egg or Nerubian Egg, we play Zombie Chow in this deck. Zombie Chow, when it came out from Naxxramas, was being hailed as the best one-drop in the game, because it was a one-cost minion with two attack, 3 health. So it traded in really well to other minions that got played on turn 1 by your opponent, usually getting 2 trades for one for one body. So it was pretty good. Yeah, sure, it restores health to your opponent, but in the early game, maybe you're not too fussed about that. And another thing that is worth noting with this deck is that it does not play Living Mana, which is a card that a lot of people have hailed as one of the best cards in Druid. You know, whether you're playing the the token Druid or even a bit more of a mid-rangey Druid, because, well, it's a board fill. You play that card, you have minions on board instantly, and it can be a struggle for your opponent to deal with them. But anyway, this deck does not play Living Mana. Instead, it's got in that late game slot, if you want to call it late game, it's got Evolving Spores, Jeeves, and Soul of the Forest. So Jackie believed that Living Mana was not needed. So let's have a look at the deck in action on the Wild Mode ladder. And we're going up against a warrior. Right, so Zombie Chow in hand. Feels good.
Fly, party. My greetings. I'm a child. Greetings.
Okay, so the Chow into the Finley could be the play here. We Finley first, see what hero power we get. Huh. Do I want to take Reinforce? Do I want to take Silverhand Recruits? I mean, for me there, it was between Silverhand Recruits and the Hunter Hero Power. I think the way I'm going to win this game is through board and using my board to trade into his board and then eventually push lethal. Sure, the Hunter Hero Power. Oh, there's AKO popping up again saying pirates everywhere. Yes, sir. Pirates are everywhere. Because in wild mode with ship's cannon, Pirate Warrior is even more overpowered. Yeah. I don't think that picking the Hunter Hero Power would have been the right call. Just because I don't think I can out-aggro him to that extent, to kill him quicker than he can kill me. I think I'm just going to value putting dudes, Silverhand Recruits, on the board to contest his pirates. I think that may be the way forward. I don't know. I think I need to ask myself the question, what would J4ckiechan do, the creator of this deck? And by the way, if you don't know who J4ckiechan is, just Google search him. J4ckiechan Hearthstone, phenomenal player. I think he was the inventor of Eggless Druid. Worth checking out his stream. Okay, so we've buffed the board. And we're going to trade. That's fine. Okay. Feels like a little bit of a waste there of my buff. But it did allow us to kill the Frothing Berserker. Otherwise, I would have had to have traded everything into the Berserker to kill it. And I do not want to leave a Frothing Berserker on board. Oh, that's good. Okay. He's going face. So he's trying to kill me as quickly as possible. Soul of the Forest, such a good card. It's just going to give us board presence now. It's interesting to compare Mistress of Mixtures to Zombie Chow. This deck plays the Chow, doesn't play the Mistress. Mistress has 2 attack, 2 health. And heals both players, whereas the Chow has 3 health and heals the enemy player. You saw me hovering over the concede button there. I've sort of looked at this game and thought to myself, is it all over? But no, actually the Paladin hero power here is really helpful. It's given us a body on board that we were able to buff into a 2-2. That's really significant. Really, really significant. And now the Pirate Warrior is running out of threats. I'm just going to save that other Soul of the Forest. There's no need to play it now. Let's just concentrate on filling the board. And no need to play Jeeves either. Not yet. I don't want him drawing into lethal, for example. So in the game like this, Jeeves can actually be a bit of a dead card, because when your health total is really, really low, you don't want to be giving your opponent extra outs to kill you. Speaking of killing someone, Savage Roar, how much damage is that? I believe that's lethal?
Well played.
I believe it is.
Well played.
Just like that. Just like that. Ah, precise lethal. I mean, even if it wasn't, it was still worth playing Savage Roar just to get the warrior down in health. But yeah, that game was looking bad for a while. That warrior was being super aggressive, going face, doing a lot of damage. But we were able to make the comeback, and yeah, the Paladin hero power actually helped. So yeah, this is a deck by J4ckiechan. I'm sure if you if you want more information on playing this deck, you know, look up Jackie on YouTube, look him up on Twitch, and I'm sure that you'll see him playing either this deck or similar decks. He's always refining Token Druid or Aggro Druid on the Wild Mode ladder, always coming up with new combinations, new cards to put in, new ways of playing the deck. He's such a good player, and this deck has served me well. In fact, I've used this in conjunction with Jackie's Egg Druid. So I've used this Eggless Druid alongside Egg Druid, and that's been really good for me on the Wild Mode ladder. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please subscribe. I'd be very grateful. And you may want to give this deck a try on the Wild Mode ladder, and then maybe reply back in the comments section and tell me what you think of it. But for now, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you all again very soon for more Hearthstone action.